Welcome to Cable News Employee Enema Monday, where everything was just cleaned out, okay? And whether people were fired or they straight up quit, we're gonna talk a little bit about
Allison,
all of it. We got
Allison,
to,
I'm sorry. I
yes?
know we're live. I've got to interrupt you. We've got breaking news here.
Uh-oh.
Bill Doris has been fired from Tittle Tattle.
Man, I was hoping I was going to be able to break that to you later.
I
Sorry, Bill.
I
It's
get these
not you, it's
producers their
me.
juice boxes and snacks, and here
Well,
if anybody's hiring, holler.
you said I was past my prime at 41, and so sorry, but that was not cool. But do you mind just doing the rest of this show with me real fast before I fire you?
Yeah, this will be my swan song.
Okay, all right, good. We'll make it good. Everybody. This is Bill's last episode. Well, actually, this isn't technically Tittle Tattle. This is a surprise edition of Allison going live on a Monday when I wasn't planning to, just because the world in cable news is all up in arms right now. We're talking about Don Lemon's gone from CNN. Tucker's gone from Fox, and ESPN is laying off a ton of people. So it's just everybody's getting cleaned out, and we figured we just had to talk about this real fast because there's a lot of opining going on. Not that there isn't going to be a lot of that here that's based in not a whole lot of factual reality, because we don't necessarily know what's actually going on behind the scenes. It's going to be us sort of guessing. However, I do think I can make somewhat of an educated guess because I used to work at Fox News Channel when it comes to Tucker Carlson. Okay, so I want to refer everybody to Justin Hart's Twitter page because I think he's got some of the best information on this. I'm going to say up front, I've seen lots like, oh, he was going after Big Pharma, or, on the news, and he was going after election stuff on the news, and he just got too spicy for Fox. And Fox finally said, we're done. I don't believe that. I don't believe it. The reason I don't believe it is because at his level, they're regularly meeting with management. I don't believe there are any surprises. I don't believe there's any surprises when it comes to somebody like Tucker Carlson and what he says in his opening monologues. I think they're fully approved editorially by the powers that be. I don't think there are any surprises. So it's not like he goes on his show and they're watching at home and they're like, oh, you know what I mean? He said that. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible that happened. I'm just saying I just don't believe. That's much harder for me to believe than some of the stuff that Justin had on his Twitter, which I will take you down to. Now, first, he says that his sources were telling him Tucker was set to go live tonight, which I believe. I believe probably because he said allegedly in his last show on Friday that he was going to be there, or like he said, see you Monday or something, right? So I do believe this was a surprise. I do believe that this was a surprise. I would believe that he probably showed up at work. Okay, I can't believe that. Probably had plans to talk about the lawsuit and clear his name. Producers were prepping guests and slots of Monday's show. Corporate nixed the idea, and Tucker up and quit. Now I was like, okay, that makes sense. But here's some more of what he's saying he's heard. That it happened very quickly, something to do with editorial control. Fox News possibly wanted it out. Tucker possibly wanted it out. Okay, I could believe that there might be like a mutual parting of ways, that they didn't work hard to keep each other and the relationship going. And
It's
now,
like me and my first wife.
Yeah, Bill?
I said, yeah, it's like me and my first wife. It was a mutual parting.
There you go. Okay. So, all right. New York Times had a story on Friday. This was not decided today. This is John Ziegler. Appears that Tucker made some very disparaging statements in the Dominion lawsuit about Fox management, which have not yet been fully publicized. So it could be, because a lot of people are kind of wondering, this comes after the settlement and the lawsuit. The one reason I'm just not quite sure I really believe that is because wouldn't you have gone through discovery and everything with this lawsuit, Bill, and known about this stuff? So why would it have been a surprise Monday that they got rid of him over this? My story that I buy is like, something happened. Like, how do we deal with this on Tucker's show tonight? All right, we just settled this lawsuit. Are we going to talk about this, or he's going to talk about this issue? And like I said, I believe his scripts are okayed by management. So they're going through this process, and he's like, this is my cutoff. Like, this is the hill I'm going to die on this specific thing, whatever. And they're like, no. And for whatever reason, and maybe there were text messages that made management say, you know what, no love lost. I guess this is where we're going to call it. But for them to not have given him a chance to say goodbye, says to me that at least there was some drama happening behind the scenes, and it was very surprising. It wasn't just like Tucker's contract ran out or something. The fact that he's not like on air saying, hey, I had a great several years at Fox. It's been a fun ride. I'm going to go do something on my own. That it just kind of came out like this. I do think there was some drama behind it. Bill, please. And then we'll go to Don Lemon, or Don Lemon as he's often known.
Yeah, absolutely. And stay with me here because
okay.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you real quick.
Yeah.
Do you put in, how much stock or how much would you invest in the speculation that Tucker Carlson is leaving to do something with Elon Musk? Because that's something else that's been put out there, hot off the heels of his interview with Elon Musk and maybe going to Rumble. What do you think about that? Is that some kind of possibility or?
Okay. I don't believe that he would have made this decision based on that. However, I could see the relationship with Fox ending knowing I got other big players in my back pocket. Okay. I'm not scared to go.
Gotcha.
I could see that. I could totally see that he knows there's an option there, and he's like not afraid that he's going to be incapable of paying the bills or anything because he could go there. But I would say I don't believe that like they made some kind of deal under the table and then he's like, you know what, I'm going to go in and I'm going to leave because I got this better deal with Elon Musk. No, I don't believe that.
Okay. Well, I put this out on social media not too long ago, maybe an hour to 2 hours ago, as of 4:41 p.m. Central Standard Time, that, Don Lemon, and we'll get to the ESPN stuff really quick. And I said this in my social media post, it's never a good day for people to lose their jobs, but Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson not being in the mainstream corporate media anymore is probably the best thing to happen to news and journalism in 20 years. Okay. And I know some of you right now are freaking out. You're like, oh yeah, get rid of Don Lemon, but Tucker Carlson, no, no.
Well, remember, Bill's also getting fired after this episode. So you could absolutely, he has so many fans waiting for the opportunity as he walks out of the Morrow Media Studios to throw tomatoes at him. So feel free to continue.
Finally, you guys have a reason to shut down firebill.com. So all good. Either way, I'm not surprised at the Tucker Carlson leaving as much as I am about the Don Lemon thing. And we'll touch on Don Lemon here in just a minute. But Tucker leaving, there's been, from my understanding, and I know you actually worked at Fox News, there's been a lot of contention with him over the last year or so. And I know that Rupert Murdoch was not happy about it being leaked that Tucker Carlson just despises Donald Trump. So this is not that surprising, to be honest. And I mean, where does Fox News go from here? Here's the deal. I'm not going to be the one to dwell on what happened because we're never going to know the full story. Somebody at Fox News will leak, here's what happened with Tucker Carlson. And Tucker Carlson, wherever he goes next, will come out and do a video, here's why I left Fox News. But we're never going to know the full story 100%. So why dwell on that? What I want to know next is what's next for Fox News? What's next for CNN? Who are they going to replace these people with? Or do they even care to replace these people? And God bless, anybody who loses their job, but these two in particular individuals, I could care less. I mean, they're both trash. They both are liars. They're both narcissists. So I will never feel sorry for a millionaire who made his money and did not, or who lost his job and did not save their money. That's just me.
I want to go over to Locals chat. Don't forget, if you want to be on my editorial board, AllisonMorrow.locals.com, $5 a month. You can go one-on-one with the most censored people on the internet. Bill and I do a show for supporters only on Locals, ROKFIN, and Patreon, where we often have very different views about what's going on. I think we also disagree about what you just said, but I'm not going to take you to the mat right now, Bill, because I just want to go back to this idea that
right.
Jimenez 26 says it's not just a lawsuit. He's been stepping on too many big name toes going against narrative. I just don't believe that that's what's going on with Tucker Carlson. I just don't believe it. And this is the reason why. Maybe, people are saying this about James O'Keefe, that James O'Keefe, was was it was like the big pharma thing they did, and it just couldn't take the heat or whatever. I don't know, maybe, but this is the reason why I just don't believe it in the Fox News Channel Tucker Carlson case. They loved that he was doing that kind of stuff. They loved that he was playing this populist role for them. He was one of the few people, if the only, I don't know, maybe Greg Gutfeld, who were bringing in significant ratings on, especially like post-election. I don't, maybe Laura Ingraham. I'm not really sure where she stands, but they knew exactly what he was saying at night. And I just don't believe that Fox management was like, he's just starting to get a little too dicey for us. I don't believe that that's what happened, because they were letting him go on TV all the time saying that stuff. Did they hit a limit? I don't know, Bill. I have a really hard time believing that that's what happened here. It's possible that there was like, that's why I say I believe that it may have been, you could maybe sell me on a mutually agreed destruction, that both of them were like, you know what, this just isn't working out. Let's just go our separate ways. I don't believe it was like Tucker just showed up to work and they're like, Tucker, you've just been putting down too many truth bombs, dude. We just can't have you here. No. Maybe there was, like I said, with the show, it seems like maybe there was something that happened today. Like I said, maybe going into the Dominion stuff, and he wanted to handle it a certain way. Management was like, no. And it was this specific issue that was the line in the sand. That I would believe. It's nothing that, to me, nothing that happened in the past. It was something that happened today. Just the way it all went down. Thank you. And I just want to say, Oceana, great lipstick shades today, Allison. Oh, wait a minute, I've had too many Bud Lights. That's why you should be drinking AllisonWinePromo.com, because then you wouldn't have to worry about it. First off, you would be supporting my work so I could get better lipstick. Actually, what I'm wearing today, just so everybody knows, is Burt's Bees chapstick. It's just like a tinted chapstick, Burt's Bees. We all love that company. Well, we used to before they were bought out by Clorox, as most companies are eventually sell out. I still buy Burt's Bees products though. Maybe they still keep true to their tradition. But anyway, if you're interested, that's what it is. Burt's Bees chapsticks, tinted. But where you can really support my work, go to AllisonWinePromo.com. 50% off my favorite wines, 50% off shipping. Send one to Don Lemon. Send one to Tucker Carlson. Tell them to have a free drink on you. I'm sure they can probably afford wine themselves. But you know what? Hey, if they're watching and they're like, I really could use a drink because all these people are getting it so wrong, what happened to me, then I hope they go and buy many cases of AllisonWinePromo.com. All right? Because both of them probably got decent severance. Would you say they got a decent severance, Bill?
Really? I mean, these guys probably made more in the last 24 hours than I will make this year. So, they need to go to AllisonWinePromo.com and
blow
stock
some of that
up
money.
Let's get some Malbecs in them. High altitude Malbecs.
Extremist altitude Malbecs. Don Lemon can finally be an extremist if he instead of just calling other people extremists for once in his life. Go to twinenginecoffee.com/Allison if you're a coffee drinker. We've got light roast, dark roast, medium roast. We've also got a Caturra tea. Hey, if you're an espresso drinker, this is the great espresso that I drink every morning. I make my own lattes with it. It's very good. I also really like the Caturra tea, which is tea that is made with the coffee fruit. So they dry the fruit that's around the bean, and then you seep it in your coffee for 5 to 10 minutes. Or like me, if you like cold brew, 24-hour cold brew, it's very good. It tastes a lot like black tea. See it right there. It's high antioxidant, low caffeine, great way to support my work as well. So AllisonWinePromo.com, twinenginecoffee.com/Allison. Do we need to say anything more about Tucker Carlson, or should we switch to Don?
No, we can definitely switch to Don Lemon. I think that's one that, even Stevie Wonder saw this one coming.
Oh, man. That was bad.
There for a while. Wait, him getting fired on my joke?
The Stevie Wonder joke. Before you say anything, the reason we know what happened with Don, allegedly, is because he took a screenshot of something he wrote. I don't know if he knows that, like, you can actually write a lot now on Twitter. Does he? Because you could have put all this on Twitter, right? They don't have a word limit really anymore. So anyway, he didn't have to do it this way. But yes, it was his agent who told him. So apparently, that is kind of rough. I gotta say, like, your agent calls you up and says you're no longer working for this company that you work for. So, and I don't know what you think, Bill, but when
you fixing to know.
I know. That's right. My thought on this is CNN, like, this is why if Fox came out and said Tucker was saying all this stuff and we just, we want to distance ourselves from him, I would be like, you guys created what is the Tucker Carlson show? Like, you allowed it. And they did the same thing with Chris Cuomo. They let him interview his brother all the time on their own air. And then all of a sudden they find out he's sending texts or messages or whatever on his brother's behalf to try to run PR for him in the background, when he was on his way out of the governor's office for all of his scandals. And they're like, oh, this is a bridge too far for us. They're like, wait a second. You were letting him do public relations for his brother on your own air. So to say that, I just thought that was very disingenuous. And you know what? They let Don Lemon run roughshod over journalism ethics for a long time. So it's hard for me also to believe that all of a sudden CNN was just like, oh, now we have ethics and you're out, Don. And they didn't even have, I don't know. They could have called him and tell him themselves. I thought that was a little weird to go through your agent. I don't know what you think.
No, I have no problem with CNN going through Don Lemon's agent, because Don Lemon allegedly has a track record of talking to people very cross, very red while he's at CNN. And, I've had blow ups in the news business before. I've talked to a lot of people the wrong way. So I get that. But I will say this. My thing for the longest time with Don Lemon over the last 5 to 7 years has been, what does he have on the people at CNN? Does he have like old school pictures of Ted Turner, like abusing a puppy? Does he have, video of Jeff Zucker whipping a girl on Epstein Island or something? What is going on? This guy should have been fired like 10 times over. Well, now the power structure at CNN has changed. Jeff Zucker is gone. All these other people in CNN management are gone. There's been a shift in their focus. There's been a shift in their reality. And now they've taken this opportunity to get rid of Don Lemon. And what's really funny is that, I'm not saying this is the last straw, but Don Lemon, is a man who hates women. And that's clear. You can see it on their morning show. Don Lemon could not stand the two ladies that he worked with on that new CNN morning show. And then the new GOP candidate, I can't remember his name, but he comes on and just owns Don Lemon in his own show. And props to that guy, because after Don Lemon accuses him of being a racist, even though this is a guy of a minority himself, he still goes and shakes Don Lemon's hand. I'd have been like, no, I'm good, bro. So Don Lemon just has made an ass out of himself over and over and over. And he should have been fired a long time ago. But now that the power structure has changed, maybe whatever he had on the old guard, it doesn't apply anymore. Maybe that's why they finally fired him, Allison. I don't know, but it should have happened a long time ago. And I've got no problem with CNN contacting his agent. That's what agents are there for. That's why agents are, they're supposed to handle your needs when it comes to your business. I never had an agent, but you've had an agent, and I don't think an agent's ever, a company or a news operations gotten a hold of your agent and said, hey, we're going to go ahead and let Allison go. But you've never made the mistakes of a Don Lemon. You don't have the reputation of a Don Lemon. So I have no problems whatsoever with CNN calling his agent. That's what they're there for.
Well, you know what? You're right. I guess. Well, did I just say that? Bill's right about something. You are right. I didn't think about the fact that they probably did. They probably did have some concerns if they went through the agent. That's not typical behavior. I guess maybe I just flag it that way. Like, that's not typical.
Right.
That's not typical behavior to not tell somebody in person. So yeah, maybe you're right. All right. Final thoughts before we just do ESPN really fast. When it comes to these two, remember these headlines. This is Glenn Greenwald. A court ruled Rachel Maddow's viewers know she offers exaggeration and opinion, not facts. Remember this court? And then this is NPR. You literally can't believe the facts Tucker Carlson tells you. So say Fox's lawyers, essentially claiming that, oh, no, I'm not going to sign up, that the general tenor of the show should then inform a viewer that Carlson is not stating actual facts about the topics he discusses and is instead engaging in exaggeration and non-literal commentary. And, I guess the final thing I want to say about all this is, you like them, you don't like them, whatever. You enjoy some of the stuff they say, you don't like all the stuff they say. I mean, listen, there was a time where I used to I couldn't listen to Tucker Carlson years ago. Because wasn't he at CNN for a while, right?
Yeah, he was. I think he
Anyway,
even
and
did
then
some stuff with
then I was like,
MSNBC.
wow, actually, I just agree with Tucker on something, and so then I'm here I am, I'm actually agreeing with Tucker Carlson on a lot of stuff. I'm like, what's going on? But where you got to draw the line, y'all, whoever it is that you pay to, whether it's me, Bill, Tucker, Don, is no hero worshiping. Everybody is a human being. And if you're making real life decisions based on entertainment, somebody who uses the defense of it's entertainment and exaggeration and you shouldn't be taking it seriously, I just posit that maybe a better way to go about it would be to take the information, question everything, as Ryan Christian says, be skeptical and move on. And, these are two big names in the cable news world because they've got a huge following, because there is a lot of hero worship around them. I forewarn everybody that is a dangerous path to go down, not just for people who have already said in court, hey, don't take us seriously. No one would take us seriously. We're entertainment. But for everybody, for everybody, it includes me. No hero worship. It's not a good idea. The guy's moving on somewhere else. You want to follow him? Great. Take everything that everybody says with a grain of salt. Do your research. Question everything. All right, Bill, take it away with ESPN real fast, and then let's move on.
Okay, real quick. Last but not least.
Okay, last but not least.
Yeah. ESPN has laid off a little over 300 employees today. So the axe continues. I mean, Don Lemon, ESPN employees, Tucker Carlson, Bill Doris, we're all getting the axe today. And I'm not sure. We knew the ESPN layoffs were coming, but here's the thing with the ESPN layoffs, Disney has announced that they want to cut $7 million in salary. So, or anywhere from 7.5 to 10 million in salary. So today, all they laid off really was mostly behind the scenes people. So the people in front of the camera, y'all are next. That is coming, and it's going to be really interesting. There are a couple of people now. Disney officials have said nobody's untouchable, but there are a couple of untouchables at ESPN. Scott Van Pelt and Stephen A. Smith. They're not going to get fired. They're not going to lose their jobs. But there's going to be some people in front of the camera that they're getting ready to get rid of. It's going to be a real interesting week if you work for the worldwide leader in sports. It's a real interesting time period for you in the next 4 to 3 days.
The network will tighten its belt for those making more than 7 figures, but with a particular fine eye for those in the $2 million to $5 million per year range, according to sources. I don't know, Bill. That might mean your people actually could face.
No, Stephen A. Smith makes that company way too much money. Plus the buzz that he would generate getting fired. It's just not going to happen now. Troy Aikman, for those of you, does that name ring a bell for you, Allie?
Yes.
Okay. Troy Aikman, he's made more money off of Fox Sports and ESPN than he probably ever made as an NFL quarterback. So, I know his salary right now is really, really up there. He could be one that gets cut, and it wouldn't surprise me. Joe Buck could be another one that gets cut and really surprises me. This one is going to be really interesting, not just because of the money, but ESPN has been at the forefront of pushing diversity and, the rights of the downtrodden and everything else. Let's see how many are left standing on Friday, or heck, even, Wednesday when we come up with the next episode of Tittle Tattle that I won't be a part of because I've lost my job.
Right. Exactly. Well, I was just scrolling through this article. It sounds like none of this was necessarily a surprise, but 7,000, I mean, that is a lot of people. Why, I guess before we go, Bill, what's the deal? Why is this advertising revenue that we're dealing with here? People just aren't watching anymore. What's going on?
It's a combination of a few things. First off is the ad revenue. There's no easy way to say this or a politically correct way, but the NBA and the NFL pushing the narrative of BLM turned off a lot of people. It turned off a lot of viewers. So the viewers were down, advertisers pulled their dollars. But another big thing of it is Disney's going broke. Disney's properties are not making the money that they thought that they would. And we're definitely talking about Star Wars, from the top down. They're putting out all this product. So they're going to look to cut costs. And right now, ESPN's not making them money. Star Wars and Marvel are really the only thing keeping Disney afloat right now. Let's be honest. I mean, the numbers just don't lie. And Disney actually raised the rates of the Disney Plus. So that is a big part of it. But another big part of it that some people will say, oh, it doesn't matter. I firmly believe that it does. People are cutting the cord more than ever in history. More people watch their sports live via the internet than they do on cable television. And that's where ESPN, and Allison and I, we've had this conversation before. So many of the old guard did not see what the internet was going to do to broadcasting. And now ESPN, they're feeling the brunt of it. They put all their eggs into the basket of cable television. And, you know, most people, like, I'm a huge wrestling fan. I don't watch wrestling live. I watch wrestling live maybe twice a year, WrestleMania and the Royal Rumble. Every other time I watch it online. Okay. So, and when I do watch it live, I usually watch it via a streaming service. And the ESPN streaming service, not only does it suck, it's not making them any money. So it's time for Disney to start cutting costs, and they're going to start reinvesting that money in other places. And ESPN just isn't one that they're going to be reinvesting in because it doesn't bring the dollars that it used to.
I gotta read this one before we go.
Okay.
This is my favorite Bill comment. You read it.
Oh, this guy's so full of bull excrement and a moron. I'm out of here. Peace.
All right, everybody. Thanks for the support, the wonderful comments. If Bill makes it back, he's going to have to come back as a newly reinvented persona. But
I'm trying to figure it out. If I'm getting fired, why would you leave?
It's a great point. I don't know.
So who's the moron?
Remember, if we get sued, I'm just going to tell you that you shouldn't have ever taken Bill seriously because he's just a figure. He's a figment of your imagination, or a nightmare.
Not a journalist.
All right, bye everybody. Have a good night.